Get 'em, boy!
Hello. So I've played some Resident Evil 4 Remake. I streamed it last weekend. And as a hardcore Resident Evil 4 fan, that's the original Resident Evil 4, I'm here to give my opinion on it so far. So I'm streaming this game every weekend, Friday and Saturday. And as a hardcore original Resident Evil 4 fan, I'm giving my opinion on it as I go along. So in Resident Evil 4 Remake, I've reached the part where you face Del Lago so far. So far I've been through the initial village, and what else? I've had the chainsaw, I've had a battle with the chainsaw, potato sack man head, I forgot what you call him, chainsaw man, and what else? I hardly remember what else. Oh, I had a battle with a cow. I was not expecting a cow to attack me, but cows attack in this game, and they really, it's like, what do you do? The cow's trying to kill me. What do I do? So I threw my grenade at him. It's the only thing I could think of. I was attacked by a pig man with a gigantic mallet. What else? I've met the merchant. So this video is unscripted, so I'll give my thoughts as I go along. You can let me know if you like scripted videos or unscripted videos. I couldn't be bothered to write a script this time, but I am bothered to give my opinion on Resi 4 Remake. So far, I'm coming from the bias of the original Resident Evil 4 from 2005. For me, that game can do no wrong. That game is perfect, 11 out of 10 for me. And so I'm coming from that bias while I judge Resident Evil 4 Remake. But I'm not coming into Resident Evil 4 Remake to hate it. I don't want to hate it. I want to like it. I'm coming into it to see what's good about it, and I want to enjoy it. I'm not here to attack Resident Evil Remake. But I'll give the parts where I think it was good, and I'll give my opinion on the part where I think it was not so good. So we'll start off with a big positive, something I thought was really good. Okay? You can go in the settings and look at the controller settings, and there's an actual setting to change the controls back to the original Resident Evil 4 from 2005. I was so welcomed by that. It felt like a warm welcome, like, hello, welcome home. Welcome home, old Resident Evil player. Some things are gonna be familiar and some things are gonna be different, but we hope you enjoy your experience. And a cherry on top was that you can change the sounds and the music back to the original as well. Wow, I was so impressed by that. For me as a player, a hardcore player of Resident Evil 4, this feels like that the developers showed me respect. Showed a player like me respect. It feels like to me that they acknowledge that Resident Evil 4, the original one, was so good, and we're not trying to just steamroll it and just put something new in your face and say, hey, take this. This is our game and this is better now. We got modern graphics, modern gunfighting and all that stuff. You take this now, forget the old one. No, none of that. I feel like the developers offered me a handshake and said, you know what? We know the old Resident Evil is really great. The old Resident Evil 4. And so, while respecting the old Resident Evil 4, this is our humble attempt at trying to improve it with whatever technology we have today. And we hope that you can appreciate it. And I very much do appreciate the gesture. I'm very happy about it. I feel like just because of this move of the developer, respecting me as a player, that I want to show respect to them now. And review their game fairly and, you know, not be attacking. I don't want to attack their game. Anything I don't like, I'll say it, okay? But I'm not going after blood in this video. I want to say thank you to whoever, I don't know who the developers are, Capcom or whatever. Is it Capcom or is it somebody else? I don't know. Whoever's designing the game. Capcom is the parent company or something. Yeah, I don't know all these details. I just buy the games and play them. I know Capcom is in there somewhere. So I want to say thank you to them for these gestures, and I appreciate them. Okay, I want to start by getting through the goods. So the next good thing was the atmosphere. The atmosphere is good when you're walking through the village or some rundown parts of the village or whatever, inside a building. It's not exactly like the old Resident Evil, but it's an attempt at modernizing it. And when you're going back and forth through it, you can kind of get familiar with it and feel at home, especially when the old music is back on and the old sounds. It feels like a true remake where it keeps true to the old Resi 4 as much as it can, even to the point where there's an exact building built in the same place, and I know that inside that building there's an enemy standing right there. And then I open the door to go inside and I'm like, oh hey, my buddy, it's been so long, and he hits me with an axe, but I'm very happy to see them there. There's a part where, okay, I know that in this box there's a snake, so I attack the box and the snake is there, so I'm ready to shoot him. I know it's very welcome. And then there's still some parts which surprise you. So okay, you get the key, the church key, and you think, okay, I'm just gonna walk over to the church and open the door and go get Ashley. But instead of that simple journey to the church, there's a tower that's next to the church. In the old game, nothing happens to it, but in this new one, it collapses right in front of you, and it blocks your path, and then you're attacked by the dogs. Something new, something different. And another part of the village, there's this giant pig man who has a massive hammer, and you have a little boss battle with him. And on top of that, the cow that attacks you. I was not ready for that cow attack, I'm telling you. You can watch it in the stream, it was quite funny. But yeah, these little changes which subvert your expectation. Oh, there's another one as well. When I went to go get Luis Serra, and I heard banging, and I thought, yeah, I know what this banging sound is. It's Luis Serra trying to get out, because that's exactly how it was in the old game. But I was surprised to find it wasn't him. There's a villager hitting the floor with a hammer, trying to block Luis Serra, I guess, stopping him from escaping. So that was different, a different experience. When I saw him, I go, oh, it's not Luis Serra. So I feel like the developers, they understand where to get things right and where to change things. I like it. I like the way they handled this so far. Okay, what else? Okay, I want to talk about the gun battle now. So, at first, when I saw the gun battle and I experienced the gun battle, shooting the enemies with a handgun and a shotgun, I didn't really like it. I preferred the old version where you can point and kablam, kapow. You can destroy the enemies, you can pop their heads. For some reason in the modern game it feels weaker. I don't know, maybe I just need to get used to it. But over time, I have experienced some parts where I'm pointing the shotgun at some enemy, Maria for example, this old lady villager, and I take the shotgun and blast her with as many holes as I can. One trigger pull, kaboom, and her whole shoulder and ribs just goes flying off. I thought that was amazing. It's like, because in the old Resident Evil you're trying to aim for their heads and get headshots. If you aim anywhere else, they just get hurt, drop on the floor, die. But here, you can full on decapitate their whole body in half by aiming the shotgun at their torso. That's cool. I love it. It's very good, and I'm starting to get used to the gun sounds as well, and the gun battle. So I actually like it. It's gonna take a bit more time for me to get used to it, and I haven't experienced many of the weapons yet, only the handgun and shotgun so far, and the rifle. But I think this part will be fine as I go along. What else? And another cool thing in this game is I love the sequences with Leon. When there's a button to activate some sequence, for example, you're fighting with an enemy and they grab you, you can press I think it's the trigger or the R button, right shoulder button, and he pulls his knife out and sticks it in their throat. It's cool. And then there was another really cool one where the chainsaw man, he tried to overhead me with the chainsaw, and I saw the button signal, and I just hit it. I think it was the right trigger, and Leon shoves his knife into the chainsaw, and there's like a Gears of War chainsaw battle going on. That sequence is cool. I like these additions to the game because it showcases how badass he is. It demonstrates how skillful and badass Leon is. These kinds of little scenes that are shown, they stand out and they make Leon look sick. An example of this in the old games was when you're trying to go through the tunnel behind Sadler's throne, and the lasers, and you're stuck in a tunnel with lasers, and the lasers try to come towards you, and then you press the button sequence to make Leon dodge the lasers. But then at the end of the tunnel, there was this set of lasers which you're looking at them thinking, there's no way Leon can escape this. This is like, it's covering the whole tunnel. How is he gonna get through this? Lo and behold, you just press the shoulder buttons and Leon runs up the wall and does a backflip over the lasers in a narrow corridor. When I saw that the first time, I thought, whoa, this guy is sick. I couldn't believe it. I really liked Leon back then. And I feel like they've attempted to show how cool Leon is in this game. And I'm looking forward to uncovering more and more. So far this game has made a very good impression with me. Now there's a couple of things I didn't like. It's not a big deal, but I'll mention them anyway. So the first one is running around with Leon. It can feel a bit annoying sometimes. I'm trying to run around with him and it feels like the character's going off balance and trying to fall in this direction or fall in that direction, and you don't even know where the hell you're running. I had this enemy once. I was aiming at her and she was aiming at me. So I fired a shot and I missed. She swung her axe and she missed. And we were both just standing there, staring at each other awkwardly, wondering like, what now? The weather is pretty good, eh? Well, I had to go again and tried to shoot her again. I think somebody hit me and I just had to get out of there. Yeah, the controls are a bit funny. Maybe it's gonna take some time for me to get used to them. So we'll see about that in the future. And number 2, this one is kind of a big one for me. I don't like the merchant. I don't like his stupid voice. I feel like he's a tryhard. It sounds like someone's trying too hard to be the original merchant, but not getting it right, and he's trying to put his own spin on it. I don't actually appreciate that. I really like the old merchant. The old merchant was like he was calm, he was solemn, and he had this relaxing expression about him like, what are you buying? Got some rare things on sale, stranger. Like, it feels like you're talking to a friend. The one in this one, it just sounds like, he just sounds annoying to me. He's like, ha, gun rhymes with fine, stranger. Ha ha. Yeah, stranger, I got some new things on sale, stranger. Wanna come and have a look, mate? Yeah. I don't like him. But what can I do? I can go back to the old Resident Evil 4 and just listen to the old merchant all day, and I'll actually do that. But I'll just have to live with this. It's just a minor thing maybe, so I'm not gonna hate it too much. Maybe I'll warm up to this merchant eventually, but at the moment I find him annoying. I just don't like him trying too hard to do the accent. The old one sounded like he's authentic, he's calm. He is the voice of calmness, the soothing voice of calmness. And he supplies you with guns. He's like, guns not just about shooting, it's about reloading. You know what I'm talking about. And this modern one says something like, yeah, you got this sniper rifle, and it puts a bullet straight through their heads. He's just trying too hard to sound like he's from London or something, I don't know. I don't like him. It's the original Resi merchant for me. And that's all really. I'm live streaming this game every Friday night and every Saturday night UK time. I think Texas people are like 5 or 6 hours behind us, so that means around 5 or 6 o'clock for Texans. And if you're in some other part of America or some other part of the world, you can work it out yourself. 11 PM UK time. If you're interested in watching my journey through Resident Evil 4 Remake. So we're not out of the village yet, we're going to face Del Lago. We're going to face El Gigante, I think. And maybe the Chainsaw Sisters. And maybe something new, I don't know. Well, that's my thoughts so far. I'm looking forward to trying again in the coming weekend and seeing what else we can uncover. So far, I like the game and I like the developers' attempts at making a good game. The developers of this game, Resident Evil 4 Remake, they care about what they made. They care. And that makes me happy as a player. All is not lost in this modern world where games are going crazy with all these agendas and stuff. There are still games out there which are fine. So that gives me hope.